What's going on, you guys? It's your huggable hipster here, and welcome back to Soulsborne Academy. Don't mind the hunter in the corner. They're just here for your protection. We got a fun episode of Soulsborne Academy for you guys today. I'm about to sneeze. I know I'm about to sneeze. It's holding out on me. I need to sneeze just to let it go. Today we're going to be going over Bloodborne for beginners. We're going to be actually specifically going over what the story is about, because there are some people that I see on Reddit forums, some people that I see in YouTube comments, not specifically mine, but just in general, that seem to be very confused about the story. And I'm going to tell you in a nutshell what the story is about and represents. What it's about and what it represents are two completely different things. What it represents for me is something else entirely than what it's actually about. So strap yourselves in. Let's get into the story. I'm ready. Let's do this. I've had a lot of coffee. I'm on my second coffee today, and it's almost 9 o'clock at night. So basically the story in a nutshell of Bloodborne is mankind's need to satiate its own curiosity. That's literally it. That's a bit paraphrasing. There's a lot more whenever you go into item management and you see all the item descriptions of each item that you collect. And the same thing goes for Dark Souls. It's more cut and dry than Dark Souls games actually are, but we can go over that in another video. You have the irresponsible use of power within Bloodborne games that makes for very interesting motifs and themes throughout the adventure. But what's really captivating is that when you look at the hubris and you look at the way mankind in this game actually goes through testing the old blood, and they don't want to trust outsiders. And when it's all boiled down to it, mankind's curiosity of something that is more powerful than what they are. Remember, in a lot of video games, the search for power is a constant, almost inevitable theme that you're going to run into. And then when they get the power and they get what they want, there's such an irresponsible use of it that they don't use it for good 9 times out of 10. I mean, if they use it for good, then they're immediately bought out by the power of a church or a bigger, presence or something that, manipulates them into saying, you can't use this power because you don't know how to use it. I mean, how gaslighting is that? Come on, you don't know how to use this power. Why did I get the power in the first place if I didn't know how to use it, huh, Karen? I just find it so interesting to me that most of the games that we play, as a side note, rely on the ego of mankind. It's fascinating. It really is. Because when we play games like The Last of Us, or we play games like, Dark Souls or Bloodborne, it's the search for mankind's own power and will to existence. And if we think about it, really, really nitpick and think about it, that's basically what every single game is about that we play. But here's the thing though, Souls and Souls-like games are just smart enough to admit that that's basically what people want. They want power. That's a driving force for the existence of a lot of people, is power in whichever way they can get it. A lot of them don't say it because it's not societally acceptable. Someone can come up to you and say, what do you want most out of life? If you said power, that would be a very, very interesting conversation that you would have later on. But most people don't admit to that because they don't think that that's societally acceptable, or they just don't realize that that's what they actually want. But since we're playing a video game where anything is possible, then yeah, of course, a character is going to be like, I want power. I want the fifth realm. I want this and I want that. I want the old blood. I want to be able to do unspeakable, just ungodly things with all that power. And then when you have that power and when you have that kind of ongoing thirst for more and more and more, it starts to get into a theme of corruption. Now, this is where we get into the interesting part of Bloodborne, because if we wouldn't have a Bloodborne story at all if these characters just used it for good and puppies and, chocolate. Imagine if all that alchemy was used to create the best chocolate in the world. I can get behind that dance. But no, what do? They create creatures like Vicar Amelia and then get rid of the old ones, which gave birth, inadvertently gave birth to Orphan of Cause, which has to be one of the creepiest yet beautiful creatures I've seen in a video game. There is a chain reaction that happens in Bloodborne that a lot of new players won't get until their 4th or 5th playthrough of the game. I didn't even get it, and I've put 400 hours plus into that game. Now, the next part I just kind of find interesting. I haven't fully fleshed out my thoughts on this yet. If you guys want a video on this topic, let me know. It's just a little bit of a side thought of where it's kind of fascinating to me how in the story of Bloodborne, we have a situation excuse me, where art imitates life in the sense of where you have this morbid caricature of the Catholic Church put into the game. And it's so, you have all these religious symbols, iconography. You have the iconography, like I said before in previous videos, of the amygdala, right? But that's more or less representing the mental state and the psychology of the player character of the hunter. But I can get into the religion of Bloodborne at some point if you guys want a video like that. I just find it very telling that, you know, we have kind of the ruthlessness of mankind, but also it has a lot to do with religion in the game as well. That's one of the main motifs of this game. It's religion done, as I said before, a morbid caricature, and I find it fascinating. So that's another topic that we can get into entirely. But yeah, that's basically the idea of what Bloodborne is. And then you have the Lovecraftian themes, and you have the gothic, dark, cosmetic aspects, the iconography, the way that it showcases through in the video game. So it's all very interesting. And if Bloodborne is something that you guys think you might want to play, let me know down in the comments below, because this game, besides Death Stranding, this is on my top 5 of like one of my favorite games. But if you guys like this video, you guys like my face and what I do, please be sure to subscribe and hit that bell down below. I make videos every weekday here on YouTube. May you find your worth in the waking world, your hunter. Stay casually nerdy, and I will see you all in the next video. Umbasa.